for living large, yeah. And I put it on feeders and I'm boulevard.
What?
Long feet, mighty, I took it hard.
The dragon is dead.
You my new girl, girl, you got another part.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Mr. Make a Pipe down, there you go. Yeah, it's Mr. Pop Star, that's a way to
Yo.
go. Now too hard for the
Radio.
too hard for the
Damn radio.
yeah, too hard for the
Radio. Look. Peace, love, and light me in the highest vibration, man. It is, and it's gonna stay, and it's gonna be like that. Notice the agent, notice the principle, notice the principle, and notice the agent. And this right here is stamped in the starlight, sent in the cosmos for a cosmetic frequency to be answered by the divine order, so that the harmony, love, truth, balance, and freedom could be restored back on planet Ka, Mother Earth. You know, as the Ra rises and the kings and the queens and the divine order send messages through my Akashic records and my autonomy DNA to let the people of Black Land Prairie know that we back on top, baby. Everything you see going on in your perimeter or your visionary or your vision, and as you speak it, it should come true, because the power of the tongue of the ones from the soil is real. So once we start to realize that and see, like, there are certain ones making moves and actually speaking on it and putting it in the public domain. So as I said before, notice the agent is notice the principle, and notice the principle is notice the agent. And this is stamped in the starlight, sent in the cosmos as a cosmetic frequency, so the divine order can answer properly and restore harmony, love, truth, balance, freedom, and justice on planet Ka. You know, this is for the usurpers and all agents of a fictional corporation that has went defunct. You know what I'm saying? It is gone, you know. So what that means is everything that you contribute to, sales tax, you know, that's just the overall. So this right here is put in the public domain to let the usurpers know, the ones that's on my tribal list, you know, anything that I am affiliated with, that you have my credentials on in all caps, you know, that is rightfully owned and snatched back from the living soul, the flesh and blood himself, who comes as El Solito Dolores Bay, you know, or Wesley Alexander Garth, L Bay in lowercase, you know, with the beginning letters in all caps, space, 2 dots. Really, it's not 2 dots, it's gonna be 2 unks between the names to let you know that I come from the divine source, and we gonna restore that, you know. So stamped, you know, with the red seal of the matriarch, you know what I'm saying? You should know who that is, the one that I got crowned it with to approach these usurpers and let them know, you know, we ain't come to petition, we didn't come to send no grievances or hapuses, you know. Hey man, say man, big mama say, hey, jump y'all ass off this porch, I need my shit. And that's what's going on. So Skype 8, you know, the biggest one on the land. In my eyes, it might be a couple more, but you know, that's who put me on roll call, foot soldier, and actually explained through me, through the codes and the knocks and the knots, you know, to get all loose strings tied up and figure out where you at by speaking to you, because I know who you is and I know what you own, and I need you to go do this. So that's what the head chief told me to do. So as you see me post and as you see me send these news flashes and alerts and letting you know that this is in the public domain. So all likes and all comments from indigenous, original, organic individuals from the Mississippi clay dirt walking soil. Red hair, red skin, red hair, red skin, red skin, red hair, woolly hair, non-ether, individuals that mitochondrial DNA that comes from this soil. First in line is what you are hearing through the codes and the other languages that you have been classified as, but that's not really what it is. You have to look deeper, and what is deeper is what you are getting right now. It's something that you are asking for, so I'm gonna deliver that message for you and let you know that you are one of a kind. You are an individual that comes from somewhere that cannot be explained, and things that you do are beyond mind thinking. So they'll tell you that you special ed, and they'll tell you that you failing in a class because you have been drugged away from your oral tradition, right? So the oral tradition, we skipping steps, but we actually stand on point with what we doing, because this is put in the public domain. Notice the age, notice the principle. Notice the principle, notice the age, and so they can always know and always realize he is on point. He is going to let his people, we, not just I, because I am speaking for you all that watch this, like, comment, and share it so that we can reach the masses on Pangea and Turtle Island as a council, and get all the elders involved so they can stamp it, with a purple seal from the living souls of their seeds. And and we don't want to do no black ink business, but we come to speak on behalf of that, because you so-called think that you own everything that you create with the name of something that was given by the divine force. The return of the matriarch has returned. We here to stay. We don't do no, like I said, petitions, grievance, write no paperwork. This oral tradition. So if you have been paying attention to the biggest of them all, whoever they may be, I can give you a whole bunch of them. But we focus on the highest idea, and we focus on Pangea Enterprise, flash news alert, to the masses. And it's a smoke call to all the chiefs, the elders, so that the 7th generation that's gonna come after us gonna stand strong. That's a whole lot of back and forth with where you're from and who you're with and what you bang. Hey, we're gonna have to clear that up in a minute, because we're gonna have to get this energy, this masculine energy, to protecting these women and protecting these kids from these needles they trying to stick in us, chips, give us these goddamn trash bag of food that they making in laboratories. So it's back to the agriculture, cleaning the ecosystem, making sure there is no trash on the ground. And this goes back to taxation. You're being taxed to pay for shit that does not get done anymore. And it won't get done anymore, and it can't get done anymore. Not unless you say something. So the rest of what they have to spend, let's make sure they clean their shit up on the way out. Meaning, those grievances and those petitions I just talked about, you tell these motherfuckers, look, you're going to have to clean this up, or that little old $2 and $3 and $5 I gotta get these apartment complex and the trash people and the whoever it is you send on these bills to pay taxes for some shit I already paid for. Now, we ain't gonna be able to give you that, bro. Reason being is because you ain't cleaned shit up. This shit dirty than a motherfucker. It's dirty. It's dirty. It's trash. It don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So if you choose to indulge in it, that's what you choose to do. Pay it on. do what you do. If you think a motherfucker own every corner, square, a piece of grass, if you think a couple individuals can really do that, you gotta be out your rabbit mind to be hopping around, jumping and skipping, doing the same thing continuously and telling generation after generation it's gonna be okay. You know, time to get down to the council meetings, city halls, and all the buildings that need to be seated with a matriarch so that Big Mama can watch over her babies again and make sure that this situation goes correctly and properly handled in a feminine manner. Because if her baby's got to get wild, and as you see how we terrorize each other, if her baby's got to get wild over their mamas, it's gonna get ugly. So with that being said, all the OGs, you know, the YGs, it's time to connect your flags, and it's time to go talk to the biggest one in your neighborhood and tell them, look, bro, them guns that we use now are needed to be for protection of our own. No matter if y'all don't like each other, y'all need to put on some gloves and get behind some backyard and squabble real quick so that can get handled. Yeah, it's been some drop bodies. If I don't know, I ain't in all that, but if it has, bro, it's because we are ignorant to the fact that we don't know who he is and that our powers are used against us. We do it to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? If you can't walk up to the next man and tell him, man, my fault for slapping the shit out you yesterday, and then he hitting you, and then you be like, man, I respect that, bro. And then y'all just on some cool shit, and then y'all addressing other shit in other ways, you know? So look, man, this part 4 of Return of the Matriarch, and this gonna be a reel, and it's also 4 and 5 because I'm gonna split it and put it on my YouTube. But it's the Return of the Matriarch, and everybody needs to just love one another, and put your heart on the scale light as a feather. Peace, love, and light in the high vibration. I'll be back with y'all in a second.